Welcome to this Masterclass Explainer. Today, we are going to completely hack your Cambridge AS and A-Level Accounting Paper 2 preparation. If you're studying for the 9706 syllabus, you already know that crunching the numbers is only half the battle. Mastering the foundational theory is exactly what separates the average students from the absolute top-tier scholars. I am your master coach for today, and we are cracking open the playbook on the 4 core accounting concepts that govern literally everything you do in this exam. We're going to dissect complex questions, master your time allocation, and deploy critical thinking strategies that the examiners are desperately looking for. So, grab your notes and let's get into it. Now, take a look at this number, 15%. What's absolutely crucial to understand is that the 4 key concepts we are analyzing today, business entity, historic cost, money measurement, and going concern, account for approximately 15% of the total marks in Paper 2. Think about that for a second. That is a massive chunk of your final grade sitting right here in the foundational theory. It's the difference between barely passing and securing an A-star. It's not just about doing the math correctly, it's about proving to the Cambridge examiners that you deeply understand the theoretical rules of the game. If you leave these marks on the table, you are making a massive strategic error.
But that brings up a really fascinating dilemma, and it's something I see all the time. Year after year, the principal examiner reports highlight a consistent, glaring issue. We really have to ask, why do students find key terminology so incredibly hard? Why do candidates who can perfectly balance a complex statement of financial position completely freeze up when they're asked to explain the theory behind it? I want you to picture 2 types of scholars. Let's call them Alex and Sam. Alex is highly technical, right? Excels at formulas, nails the balance sheet, but completely struggles with open-ended evaluation. Then you have Sam. Sam is a creative thinker, strong at arguments, but totally lacks structural precision and timing. Both of them lose marks here because they don't know how to translate theory into a structured argument. We will answer this crucial question today by revealing exactly what the principal examiners look for to award those elusive top marks.
Here is our systematic roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll establish the core principles. Second, we'll move through the procedural framework. Third, we'll learn to evaluate evidence. And finally, we will expose the biggest examiner warnings.
Let's start with Section 1. Core Principles, the foundation.
Let's build the theoretical architecture you absolutely need for these foundational concepts. As you can see mapped out on this table, mastering these 4 pillars requires logical, structured reasoning. It's about understanding their causal relationships, not just memorizing flashcards. Let's really break them down. First up, the business entity concept. Imagine an invisible, impenetrable wall between the business and its owner. For accounting purposes, they are entirely separate. If the owner buys a personal sports car, it does not go on the company's balance sheet, period. Second is historic cost. This is your anchor to reality. It's the principle that we record assets at their original purchase price. If you bought a warehouse 10 years ago for $100,000 and today the real estate market says it's worth $500,000, what do you record? $100,000. Why? Because it's objective, verifiable fact, not market speculation. Third, we have money measurement. This is the emotionless reality of the ledger. Accounting only records transactions that can be expressed in concrete monetary terms. You might have the most brilliant CEO or the highest employee morale in the industry, which is great. But because you can't reliably put a dollar value on a smile or leadership, it doesn't make the balance sheet. And fourth, going concern. This is the underlying optimistic assumption that the business will continue to operate indefinitely into the foreseeable future. We assume it's not going bankrupt tomorrow, which is why we don't value our assets at fire sale liquidation prices. You must know these definitions cold, backwards, and forwards.
But knowing them isn't enough. The syllabus explicitly emphasizes that top-performing candidates, the ones getting the highest marks, achieve this by demonstrating a connected, conceptual understanding. This is where we need to look at the anatomy of command words. Examiners use specific verbs, and you need to decode them. There is a massive difference between analyze and evaluate. There is a huge gap between explain and to what extent. To hit the top-tier marking bands, what Cambridge calls Assessment Objectives 1, 2, and 3, you have to transfer these definitions to unfamiliar exam contexts. For instance, if you're tackling a complex inventory valuation question, you shouldn't just be doing the math. Your brain should automatically be linking it to how historic cost and going concern apply to that specific scenario. You have to synthesize the rules with the context.
Moving on to Section 2, the procedural framework.
Okay, right before we look at this ultimate 6-step framework to get you unstuck on high-tariff questions, I need to pause for a second. If you are serious about securing your target grade and you want to master these Cambridge breakthrough strategies every single week, make sure you hit subscribe to the Ace the Exam's IGCSE O&A Levels channel. The handle is at acetheexam_IGCSE. Turn on all notifications so you never miss a masterclass. All right, let's get back into it. How do we transition from theory to practical application? We leverage what I call the method mark strategy. Cambridge actually awards marks specifically for your process, even if your final calculation is a little off. To capture every single one of those method marks, you must use this 6-step procedural checklist. Step 1, deconstruct the question. Isolate the command word and the hidden constraints. Step 2, extract relevant data from the stimulus materials. Step 3, select your analytical framework. Ask yourself, which of our 4 core concepts is the examiner testing here? Step 4, execute with clear notation. Step 5, verify your results. And Step 6, present them with correct terminology. Remember our students Alex and Sam? Imagine them collaborating on a massive 15-mark question right now. Alex wants to just list facts, while Sam is writing a rambling essay. The moment they hit a roadblock with their paragraph linking, this 6-step framework is what pulls them back on track. It takes a mediocre, disorganized answer and turns it into a flawless, full-mark response.
This procedural approach builds directly into strict presentation conventions. Listen carefully. Cambridge examiners are ruthless about this. You absolutely must demonstrate professional skills by applying proper headings, correct terminology, appropriate formats, and clear annotation. Let's do a quick mental spot the flaw exercise. Imagine looking at a poorly written student answer on the board. The student writes money from customers instead of revenue. They format a statement of financial position like a basic list instead of using the standard structure. They don't label their workings. Those are 3 massive errors that will instantly cap their grade. Presentation isn't just about looking neat. Presentation is communication. In accounting, precision is everything.
Let's dive into Section 3, Evaluating the Evidence.
This is an interactive workshop moment, so I want you to really focus. Let's explore how top-scoring candidates deploy critical analysis to evaluate evidence quality. When you face those high-tariff open-ended questions, the ones that ask to what extent, you have to show true evaluative thinking. You must question assumptions and justify your decisions. Look at these 4 slices on the chart. To build a bulletproof evaluation paragraph, you have to hit these exact beats. First, identify limitations in the data. What isn't the financial statement telling you? Second, explicitly state the assumptions being made. For example, if a company is massively struggling and drowning in debt, is it actually safe to assume the going concern concept is still valid? You have to challenge that. Third, offer alternative interpretations of the financial evidence. And fourth, evaluate the ultimate effect on the conclusions. If you structure your argumentative paragraphs around these 4 pillars, you are effectively forcing the examiner to give you top marks for evaluation.
Let's look at Section 4, Principal Examiner Warnings.
Now we are looking at the exact pitfalls flagged directly by the principal examiner reports. This is the insider knowledge so you don't lose easy marks. The reports reveal the top 3 mistakes students consistently make year after year. Mistake number 1, using the wrong approach for the context. For example, a student might stubbornly apply the historic cost concept when the question scenario explicitly hints that a business is facing liquidation. In that context, they are no longer a going concern, so historic cost goes out the window. Mistake number 2, forgetting format and presentation. We just talked about this, but it happens constantly under exam pressure. And mistake number 3, providing generic answers that lack specific context. Please, do not just regurgitate a textbook definition. If the prompt is about a manufacturing business named XYZ Corp., your answer must explicitly connect the theory to XYZ Corp's specific situation.
Because candidates consistently confuse key terminology, you must adhere to this ultimate rule, straight from the examiners themselves. I'm going to read this quote directly. Always define terms before using them in extended responses. Why is this so crucial? Let's say you are writing an extended response arguing that a particular transaction shouldn't be recorded because of the money measurement concept. Before you make your grand argument, start your sentence by briefly, cleanly defining what money measurement actually is. Then apply it to the scenario. Doing this instantly proves your technical competence to the examiner right out of the gate. It establishes absolute trust in your answer.
To wrap up this explainer, let's synthesize this entire masterclass into 3 core memorable pillars you can use right now. Number 1, the 3-step question scan. Always deconstruct the command words. Number 2, the paragraph balance formula. Remember those 4 slices of evaluation. And number 3, the last 5 minutes review checklist.
where you verify your formatting and terminology. Crushing Cambridge exams requires consistent, relentless strategy. So, I have a challenge for you. Leave a comment below right now with your target grade and tell me exactly how you plan to deploy these 4 principles in your very next practice session. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button for Ace the Exams IGCSE O and A levels. Again, that's at acetheexam_IGCSE. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on these exam hacks. Keep studying smart, trust the process, and I will see you in the next masterclass.